What's up, guys? Dan Blewett here with another Ask Dan Q&A, and the question today is, how do I get better at holding runners? So we're going to go through a couple different, how many fingers am I holding up? We're going to go through a couple different items today, because holding runners is something that I think is super important, because when I was a setup man for a year, I could not allow a single run, or I basically didn't do my job for that day. So if you get a guy on base and he cannot score, your mindset changes quickly about what's acceptable and what's not at holding runners. When I was in college, I was just like, I want to throw the ball at the plate. And I let a lot of guys steal. And then so all my singles became doubles, my walks became doubles. And then guess what happens? A single scores those guys, and your ERA climbs rapidly. So if you don't hold runners, you need to figure it out quick, because if college coaches are watching you and you have no clue, it's not a positive, right? It's a negative. And they're going to be, okay, well, here's this other kid who's exactly the same as you, but he's really good at holding runners. He seems like he's got a good baseball IQ. I'm going to take him and I'm going to leave this kid. That can happen. So just don't leave easily controllable items just to chance. And if you don't want to hold runners, you just want to throw the ball to the plate. That's not what pitching is. Pitching is all of that stuff. So here's number one. Number one is have a good pickoff move. There's more than one version of the pickoff move. There's the spin move to second, there's the inside move to second. For lefties, there's multiple hang moves. For righties, there's probably 3 different moves to first base. They're all the same, but one is basically slow arm, slow feet, slow arm, and then fast feet, fast arm. Those are the 3 variations of like your A, B, and C moves. That's sort of how it works for a righty. And so you need to have all of those different tools available to you, and you need to be good at the footwork. So you don't practice your pickoff moves, it's going to suck. I mean, that's just how it is. So make your pickoff moves better. If you're a lefty and you don't pick guys off at least probably 5 a year as an amateur, then your move sucks. I mean, we just need to be honest with each other. I see guys still in pro ball, I had teammates who just had bad moves, and it's like, why? Why do you have a bad move? All you have to do is just like practice it once in a while. So if you're a lefty and you're not picking guys off, then your move stinks and you need to put some work into it. And that's just be part of your regular throwing routine, where every time you throw, do 6 pickoff moves, right? Do 2 hang moves, 2 snap throws, and 2 slide picks, or whatever it is. And do them every single time you throw, because that's a very important part of your game as a lefty. So that's number one. Number 2 is feel the need to hold runners on. Not the want, or not like, oh, they're just like that's like a hindrance. It's like another part of the game I don't want to pay attention to. No. You need to keep those guys on first base, because number 1, double play stays in order. Number 2, it takes a double or 2 more hits to score him, which is a lot of work for the offensive team. And 3, it keeps your ERA lower because of the other factors. Like, you should feel very empowered by keeping runners at first base. First base is a long way to go before they score. And the run expectancy of a guy on first is drastically lower in some situations than a guy on second. So definitely buy into the fact that holding runners means I allow fewer runs, which means my numbers are better, which means I have a better chance of playing and getting to the next level and getting drafted and all that good stuff. Number 2 or number 3, I don't know, one of the numbers is understanding the situation. When does it really help a team to send a guy? When does it not help a team to send a guy? So, if you have a big lead and, there's a run on first, it's okay to maybe not pay attention to him then. If it's late in the game, tight game, and that's an important run, a key run, you need to pay attention to that guy. That's an obvious no-brainer situation. However, other good stealing situations. So number 1, when getting to second base allows them to manufacture a run. So stealing second with 0 outs is very beneficial, because now a ground ball to the right side, they go to third, fly ball to center field, they score, right? So that's important. Don't let them steal second with no outs. Don't let them steal third with 1 out. Why? Because now a sac fly scores them. Now a ground ball to the middle infield scores them, right? So now they have to bring the infield in if it's a tight game, which increases the odds of the offensive team punching one through the hole, because infield in decreases everybody's range, right? So understand those crucial situations. If you get the leadoff guy on, he needs to stay put till you have 1 out. If you steal second with 1 out, much less big of a deal, except now a blooper does score him. So understanding stuff like that is very important. If you have 2 outs and a guy wants to steal third base, he's an idiot. Let him go, right? Doesn't matter that much. If you have no outs and a guy wants to steal third base, he's still an idiot, because if he gets thrown out, he's cost his team a very high chance of scoring a run, because a runner on second with no outs scores a very high probability of the time, because, again, they can manufacture that run with 2 sac flies, or ground ball and a sac fly and a ground ball. So you have to understand that, and you have to assess the situation. Is the guy on first a runner? Does he actually steal bases? Does he never steal bases? How does his lead look? Have you been paying attention to the game? If you haven't been doing any of that stuff, if you don't know, is that guy fast? Well, just look at his body, number one. Is he big and fat? Probably not a base stealer. Is he look kind of fast, twitchy, and skinny? Maybe he's a base stealer, right? But you should be paying attention to the game earlier if you're not a starter, or you should just be watching as each at-bat and the game develops so that you have an idea. This guy, all right, he's ran before. Like, we've played that team before. I've seen him steal bases. I need to pay more attention to him. And so you have to pick over more often when you have guys who look like base stealers. That seems very obvious, but pitchers seem to forget that all the time. Number 5, you need to protect your pitch. So that means if you're going to throw a curveball and he picks stealing on that pitch, he's going to be safe. You throw a slider in the dirt and he steals, he's going to be safe. Throw a changeup, probably going to be safe. So you want runners to go on ding, ding, ding fastballs. So if you're going to throw a curveball, and I was a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher, mostly fastball, curveball, depending. And so I knew if I had that guy on first base and he was a base stealing threat, and this was the 8th inning in a 2-1 game, if I was going to throw a curveball, I was going to pick over at least 2 times prior to that pitch, because I don't want him to pick that pitch to go on. If he picks the curveball and he steals, he's going to be safe. 100% of the time he's going to be safe. Maybe not 100, but like 99% of the time. So I was like, okay, I'm throwing a curveball. He needs to not steal on this pitch. Pick over. Come set again. Pick over. And now maybe he's like, okay, I'll wait. Then he goes on the next pitch. I throw a high fastball and he's out at second base, right? So protecting your pitch means protecting hitters from going on your off-speed stuff. And then the last thing, we need to make sure we're fast to the plate. That means 1-4 or less, really more like 1-3 or less. So if you're slow and you have a huge leg kick, fix it. I do have videos on the slide steps, so check those out. I'll put links in the description. But you need to be fast to the plate. So if you don't have enough speed to the plate, that's, again, something you need to work on personally. Lefties, that doesn't really apply to you as much. You just need to have a good move, because they're going to go first move regardless. So you have to be prepared to pick them off, and you have to have that good lefty hang move so you can just get guys and keep them close to just discourage them from going altogether. Because the biggest thing that you want to do is just discourage runners from going. I have a great pickoff move. I pick off a lot when they're fast. I pick off when I'm going to throw an off-speed pitch. My catcher, I give him a chance to throw guys out. I'm quick to the plate. If I have all those things in place, runners are going to be discouraged from stealing against you, and that is the best thing to do. Catchers are still only going to catch 30% of guys, if that. So the best defense is to be so good that they choose not to go on you. That's the best thing. So hopefully that helps. I don't think that was exhaustive, but that was a bunch of good bullet points as I yell at you here in the camera. But too many pitchers are not good at holding runners anymore because they just want to throw and see how hard they throw to the catcher. That's not pitching. Pitching is still controlling the entire game, not just throwing balls towards that squatting guy. All right. So thanks for the question, and we'll see you next year. Thanks for the question, but we'll see you here next week on Ask Dan Q&A. Don't forget, subscribe.